issues having to do with the election. Only Pensioners 106.7 FM can go to that extent in the city of Ibadan, and maybe even beyond. Before we go into the thick of things this morning, let's listen to this special package on a brief political history of Edo State.
The ancient city is calling. The king of the city is marching. Stand up high to the cry of the land. The founding fathers of labor, and our time to serve is now. The glory of the new nation will forever be our pride.
Edo State, Nigeria's heartbeat, is an inland state in central southern Nigeria, with its capital in Benin City. It is bounded in the north and east by Kogi State, in the south by Delta State, and in the west by Ondo State. Edo State was formed on August 27, 1991, when Bendel State was split into Edo and Delta States. The major first languages spoken in the state are Edo, Esako, Esan, Onwa, Akoko Edo, Opamiri language, and Ijo. Edo State is home to several ethnicities. Among them are the Benin, Esan, Afemai, Emai, and Ijo. Edo State is made up of 18 local government areas, which include Akoko Edo, Ego, Esan Northeast, Esan Central, Esan Southeast, Esan West, Esako Central, Esako East. Others are Esako West, Igweben, Ikpoba Oka, Oredo, Orionwo, Ovia Northeast, Ovia Southwest, Owan East, Owan West, and Nhomode. Some prominent indigents of the state, living or dead, include Chief Anthony Enahoro, Chief Tony Anini, High Chief Gabriel Igbinedion, and his son, Lucky Igbinedion, Samuel Ogbemudia, Professor Ambrose Ali, Tony Momo, Mike Aigbe, and John Oyegun. From its inception in 1991, Edo, like other states in Nigeria, has been led by a mix of military administrators and civilian governors. They include Colonel John Yeri, Chief John Oyegun, the first civilian governor, Colonel Mohammed Onuka, Colonel Basi Asukwo, Group Captain Baba Adamu Iyam, Navy Captain Anthony Onyerublem, Chief Lucky Igbinedion, Professor Osaemen Osumbo, Comrade Adams Oshomole, and incumbent Godwin Obaseki. Because of the circumstances that brought the immediate past governor, Adams Oshomole, to power after his predecessor, Professor Osumbo, was sent packing by the court, Edo joined some of the states like Bayelsa, Ondo, Osun, Anambra, and others that now experience staggered governorship elections. Today, over 2 million Edo voters from 18 local government areas, 192 wards, and 2,627 polling units across 3 senatorial districts are filing out again to pick a leader who will harness the state's rich agricultural and mineral resources to meet the yearnings of its over 5 million people. 14 candidates, including the incumbent Godwin Obaseki and People's Democratic Party's candidate, are slugging it out at the polls. The other 13 are Osagie Izeyamu of the All Progressives Congress, Benjamin Eyabi of the African Democratic Congress, Iboi Emmanuel of the Action Democratic Party, Lucky Udehe, All Progressives Grand Alliance, Igbineweka Osamuede, Allied People's Movement, and Amos Areloegbi. Others are Osifo Isaiah of Labour Party, Stevie Ozono, Nigeria People's Party, Felix Obayabo of the Social Democratic Party, Jones Osagiobari, Young Progressives Party, Ahalame Amiemenohena of the Zenith Labour Party, Paul Obafoso, Action Alliance, the youngest candidate, and Tracy Ago, the only female. Analysis of the candidates shows that 13 are males, while only one female is contesting the governorship. Also, there are 2 female deputies, while the remaining 12 are males. The youngest candidate is 35, while the oldest is 64. At the end of today, will Godwin Obaseki retain the Osadebe house for another 4 years, or will a new tenant emerge? The answer to this we will know in the next few hours.
To service now, the glory of the new nation will forever be.
All right. I have in the studio this morning a team of discussants comprising Mr. Victor Adebiyi Victor, Oluwakemi Ademola Aremu, well known as Comrade Katie, and then Barrister Kule Abimbola will be joining us on the program this morning. In the course of the program too, popular public affairs analyst, Mr. Jide Uju, will be speaking on the phone into the program. And like I told you earlier, we have our team of correspondents already in Edo State who will be giving us updates on events as they unfold in the state as far as this election is concerned. I'd like to welcome on this special election coverage this morning, Mr. Adebiyi Victor Adebiyi. Thanks for coming on the program.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for inviting me.
I also have Mrs. Oluwakemi Ademola Aremu, Comrade Katie. It's good having you here this morning.
It's excellent to be here. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right. Without much ado, I'd like to get the impression of the two of you as far as the governorship election is concerned. I'm sure that you have been monitoring event for quite some time now, and you would like to tell us what you think as far as today's election is concerned. Let's begin with Comrade Katie.
Yes, I love it when it is time for the people to have a hand. Okay, I'm using hand because too many people want to run with their legs.
Okay.
But your hand should fashion out what you're going to benefit for the next 4 years. It's a joy to come to this day. The day when Edo people will use their thumbs to determine who rules the Osadebe house for the next 4 years. And I hope they will understand too that for the next 4 years, we vote daily. We vote by not voting. We vote by not speaking. We vote by speaking. We vote by making sure governance works. So it is not just, this is the beginning of the race going to thumbprint. But the next 4 years should be people participating and monitoring to ensure that what they voted for is what they get delivered. Their donation, the new donation should be greater every day of the next 4 years.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Katie. Let me hear the views of Adebiyi Victor Adebiyi, Esquire, on the Edo election.
Well, you're on your own. Well, it's a day that I feel not too happy about for the people of Edo State. It's a day of neocolonialism, in quotes for them, kind of packaged. I would call it packaged democracy. So what they're having in Edo today, for me as a person, I won't call it an election. I will call it a charade. Charade in the sense that these people are not ordinarily doing what should be in an ideal situation. And the unideal has suddenly become a norm in our society. And that grieves my heart as a person. I'm not an Edo person, but each time I wake up and I remember this election, I feel sad deep inside of me because this whole charade was orchestrated by some individuals who prefer their selfish personal interests to prevail over and above the interest of the voters on the street. Because like I've said repeatedly on several occasions when I have opportunity to be on a platform like this to talk, that it's like asking a Muslim imam whom we know they detest dog and pork meat, asking the imam to choose one out of the two in the open, in the market square. Assuming if it's the corner, probably the human side of him may prevail, but in the open, you're asking him to choose one. And unfortunately, the third option he will have gotten, that third option refused to add up to a dozen, despite the fact they are 12 in number. That is my greatest pain. Because I'm not looking at it from just looking at it. I'm looking at it personally. How will I feel if I'm a card carrying Edo man today, and I look at the two so-called strong contenders? They all have baggages of what we don't want to be explaining here.
All right. While you were talking, Barrister Kunle Abimbola walked into the studio. Barrister, good morning, and it's good to have you on this special Edo governorship election coverage.
Good morning, Pius, and our listeners at home.
Let's have your views as far as the Edo governorship election is concerned.
Thank you. The issues are multifaceted, but by and large, the most important thing is that the worst form of democracy is still better than military rule. Because if you study the runoff to these elections,
yes,
it was as if we were going to war. We should not be. So we have to, our political elite, the ruling class, have to mature so that this democracy could thrive in this country as it thrives in other countries. We cannot continue to have elections whereby we continue to get involved in violence, involved in thuggery, get ourselves in difficult situations. When if you cast your mind back to a time when there was violence,
yes,
when even the then APC,
yeah, we have our correspondent online. Barrister, I will get back to you. We have our correspondent, Ben Ogbemudia, who is in Edo State as we speak, to give us update on what is happening. Hello, Mr. Ben Ogbemudia. All right. Where are you as we speak?
As I speak now, I'm in Unit 2 of what sits in area and local government area in the.
Okay. Would you like to give us an update of what is happening there in that place where you are?
Everybody's there's about 3 lines here. The elderly, we have the youth, and the elderly, and the seniors, both they ask them to leave the premises. And there are serious security presence here. Because earlier on today, when we were in the collection center where they distributed materials, there was a little protest. What happened was that the so-called, maybe I don't know, I don't want to use that language because there's a two factions of the Edo House of Assembly. The deputy speaker left to the Edo State government, the governor secretary, he came into
Your line is breaking. Could you shift a bit from where you are standing so we could hear you clearly?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now clearly.
Okay, so what happened was that there was an earlier tracker, but there was immediately the intervention of the security men really calmed down the situation. When the deputy speaker went to the government of the state government secretary, they were brutally, their car was seriously damaged and destroyed.
Today?
Yes, today, yes, at a place that called Okogbo. The place that is called Okogbo, that is the Lord Chief Collection Center. But the service interventions of the security agency feed that to our end. Even me, I was a victim because my nurse was when the honorable is coming.
Wow.
That's what the situation now.
So what's the situation now?
Everywhere is crowd, voting is going on. Equally monitor was since 13-14, voting is going on. Everything is orderly. No problem at all. No problem. Because there's serious presence of security men. Serious presence of security men.
Is it just policemen?
Some area you see a team of soldiers who station close to the police center, but no really within the premises. Maybe about 500 meters away from there. Depends on the flashpoint. Depends on the flashpoint.
Okay. What about the issue of social distancing amid the COVID-19? Are they observing that?
Yes, definitely.
Please shift a bit again. Okay.
If I when you are not, you don't have the 6 months, they will not allow you to be on the queue. And two, there is house sanitizer, there is the thermometer they use to.
Okay. Thermometer, hand sanitizers. Okay.
Yes, they have them there. They have it. They're nose mask. Everybody is virtually wearing nose mask. We have safety.
Okay. So far so good. How is the mood in the state like from the freelance that you are getting? How is the mood like?
Everybody is happy, enjoy their day because they want to see who will emerge at the end of the day. Especially the two major opposing parties, which is the APC and the PDP. So the two major parties are more prominent and dominant in everywhere we go. And the discussions take place around those two major political parties. At the end of the day, we get to know that who is really wins. But those people are determined because everybody is really out. We don't imagine that the local government are monitoring so far is enough of.
Is the local government of the APC candidate?
Yes, the advice, people want to see that for many days.
Okay. Your line is breaking, but just before I let go of you, what about the issues of vote buying? Have you observed any such?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Thank you very much, Godwin Ben Ogbemudia. As issues unfold, we expect to hear from you. You know how to reach us.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Gentlemen and lady, the ones I have in the studio, you heard the report from our correspondent in Orion local government area of Edo State, the local government of the APC candidate. You heard the reports of our correspondent there. Let me start with Comrade Katie. What do you make of the things he has said?
I am sad about the violence. And like I said, and also I don't like the fact that we're behaving as if there are just two parties on the ground. And that's why I said a people will determine the future they want to live in. It's one thing for somebody to present you prearranged candidates, but you still have that chance to choose whoever you want. And I think it's the way we reason. We keep thinking it's either or. It doesn't have to be. And that's why I'm saying that the young people should determine the future their grandchildren will live. Because the reality of the ground is that, whatever it is, it's one thing not to have the chance to vote at all. It's one thing for somebody to be masterminding processes, but it is you that will decide what you're going to do. If we call the other parties weak, it is our appellation. If we choose, it is a choice, because Benin Kingdom was a great kingdom. And I don't think, I know Benin. Benin is very traditional. Benin understands very many nuances, okay? And I'm sad again that we're talking about the local government of the person camp. So we should stop voting. I kept thinking, because of the physiological needs of Nigerians, security issues, food issues. So it's when you know somebody that knows somebody, you think you're involved in the system. I look forward to a Nigeria where we have working institutions. So that it does not matter who comes in, the rule will prevail. It's because of what we're experiencing, but unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. Okay, we can't say let's watch it evolve from physiological needs to self-actualization, where you are really fully determining, you're self-determinant.
All right.
So I want Edo people to know they have a choice. But every day we build those choices by the choices we make today.
All right, Mr. Devi, any consolation that there's no vote buying as we speak?
Well, he is talking from the perspective of
Where
his,
he
own,
is.
his own coverage thus far.
Yes.
I read in the paper, even as at this morning, a whole lot of horse trading. Naira is changing hand. That's a norm. It has come to stay, kind of, in our politics. Tell me one voting that took place between limiting it to 1999 till date, that money wasn't the central theme of that campaign, of that rally, of that voting, even swearing in. Money will still be the central thing. And that is where this captivity, this hold is coming in and is getting stronger and stronger by the day. Two things are being used by any politician to recolonize their people within their own domain. Two things. Number one, money, which is a fallout of poverty in the society. So money will prevail. Number two, everybody wants to go to heaven, yet nobody wants to die. Religion. Take advantage of it to exploit the people. It's a hold that we will not. In fact, I'm a strong believer of evolutionary process before now, that Nigeria will evolve over time. My recent studies show that we would never, just like this Senator Adeyeye was holding the Constitution and said, this Constitution, Senator, on the floor of the Senate, said this Constitution will never. He hammered it several times. The video are there. So if somebody is hearing me saying this Constitution will carry, be a son, be a whatever, be a judge, this Constitution is a piece of paper that will not take us anywhere except this nation is restructured, is rearranged from the root to the top. It has to be rearranged. Otherwise, it will never get better because people are getting poorer, people are getting more disenfranchised, people are losing more interest. I'm online most of the time, studying, reading the views of people about Nigeria. In every 100 review or comments I go through a day, in every 100, 95% of them are fed up with this nation. And when a nation gets to that boiling point, what you will get is what we have on this 60th anniversary logo now. That 60th anniversary logo is a God-given logo, showing how that zero is going to burst with time if something urgent is not done. You will see all the arrow in that 60, the zero. You will see all the arrows are looking for a way to escape from the cage.
Okay, let's get Barrister Kule Abimbola's view, particularly on what our correspondent just reported on.
Thank you very much, Pius. As you will recall, I was just talking about violence.
Yes.
When the report came in from your correspondent in Edo State. So it's a notorious fact that our elections are always captured by violence. And in as much as violence and money, just like my colleague here said,
yes,
my participant. So the issue of money, when you talk about Nigeria, you can recall that one of the scientific hypotheses of underdevelopment is poverty. And that is what is happening in Nigeria. Because the country has not developed. I, for one, used to be an incurable optimist that things will get better. But as I'm nearing a certain age now,
You are now curable.
Yes. Yes.
From incurable to curable.
Yes.
What drug did you take that you have to move from incurable to curable?
We are all encircled by what is happening. We witness it every day. Look at all the indices of development. Even the United Nations the sustainable development goals. Where are we? When it comes to elections, our political elite knows that it's like a war. And when you talk about war, there is always spoils of war.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is so much power and there is so much money influence that is centered on being a governor. So it's like that until we reform our system in such a manner that political offices are not too attractive. We will continue to have what we are. If you add poverty, add insecurity, add violence, and all these things together in a country where the larger population cannot go to bed with 3 square meals per day. So you can imagine what will be. Well, that's why you see people talking about vote and cook a meal. The Boko Dibe.
Comrade Katie was talking about how strong the Benin institution, the Benin Kingdom is. And recently we know that the Oba of Benin called the frontline candidates to a meeting to perhaps sound a note of warning that they don't want to see any violence as far as this Edo election is concerned. And also recently, there was a peace pact between or among the candidates vying for the election. Anyway, let's listen to the Oba of Benin, and then when we are back, we will react in respect of
how things have been going on in those states. Everybody is aware we have not been too happy. You will recall when the primaries was coming up, there was a whole lot of anxiety, a whole lot of fear, and so on and so forth. We gathered together and prayed. We advised our people, whatever their faith may be, they pray. And primaries came and went, left without any incident. I'm sure you all believe in the power of prayer. So I want to please again appeal to everybody as you go about your campaign, to go about it peacefully, without bitterness. Pray within yourselves that God Almighty touch everybody's hearts to be calm. The entire country needs a lot of prayer. Those states that is the whole world is not only Nigeria is focusing on now, those states needs a whole lot of prayers. Those states and the Ondo, I believe also, will need a lot of prayers because there's nothing more powerful than prayers. Even prayer is more powerful than gun. We don't want to go back into history of how we have come to be in this situation. We all know, we have an idea how we have come to be in this situation. But I want to reiterate and re-emphasize that our 3 prayer points in Palace by logical extension means that the Benin throne is non-partisan. I want to stress that no matter what anybody might think, we remain non-partisan because we are expected, as we are perceived by our people, because of the expectation of our people, and because of the laid down rules, guidelines of our ancestors. We must be father to everybody.
Now, the day the monarch spoke, Obaiware II, he spoke for over 40 minutes and he gave a note of warning, advice, pep talk, and practically everything to ensure that peace prevails in this election. And the respondents, the candidates were there and they responded. Let's hear what the incumbent governor said, talking about Godwin Obaseki, who is the candidate of the People's Democratic Party.
Your Majesty, for this very, very timely initiative. We want to thank you for the fatherly role you have continued to play and pray that God Almighty, who has put you on this throne, will give you very many, many more years to be of service to us in Edo State. By the grace of God, I am the Chief Executive Officer of Edo State. And in my capacity as the governor, I've sworn to an oath to preserve the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I have sworn to protect the lives and property of the people I govern. So
all right. That was the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Godwin Obaseki, who incidentally is the incumbent governor of that state. The APC, All Progressives Congress candidate, Pastor Osagie Izeyamo, also spoke.
I want to assure our father and all those present that we on our part pledge to ensure from our supporters, our followers, that they conduct themselves peacefully throughout the campaign and during the election. We are going to talk to them. We're going to pass this message that we have been giving. And every campaign we do henceforth, we're going to spend some time to also talk to all of them about the need to keep to the peace, no matter what provocation they might talk about. They must ensure that there's no violence. This election is a family one, and it cannot be described as do or die. So I want to give that assurance. I would have wanted to mention one or two other things, but to respect what our father has said, I think I will leave it at that, and to assure you that, to assure His Majesty that we will not go against your advice. And going to shake or embrace His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, my senior brother, and I will gladly move to him.
Congress. They are seen as the frontliners as far as this election is concerned. How that will play out in today's election, only time will tell. But gentlemen and lady in the studio this morning, we had these two men meeting with the monarch of Benin. And thereafter, they also signed a peace pact that they will ensure that peace prevails as far as this election is concerned. But the report we are already getting this morning seems a bit contrary to that. On whose doorstep should we put this? Because the candidates have given their words that nothing would happen as far as violence is concerned. But we are already getting reports of violence from one of the local government areas. On whose doorstep, like I said, are we going to put it? Let me start this time around with Mr. Adebi, Victor Adebi.
Oh, okay. For me, I will take it in that threefold as presented in that audio clip. Audio clip. One, for the king to have spent so much time, 40 minutes, talking to some folks that have made up their mind, that have done their built or developed their roadmap as to how they will get to the seat by anyhow. It's like rhetorics as far as I'm concerned. Like my sister here said, that before now, Edo is known for their tradition, respect for the stool and all of that. The Oba of those days won't have time to spend 40 minutes appealing to some rascals. We using the word rascal carefully, because when it comes to election in this country, it's rascality that takes center stage. What Oba of those time will do, because we are living in a different age anyway, where diplomacy is the order of the day, then they will give instruction. You disturb my kingdom, you will go down alive. Ground will swallow you, and ground will swallow them, because they were operating with some special special forces way back then. But these days, where is the governor that will determine whether the man will see the next day on that throne or not? The offer has been given by people have been reminded by Obaseki that he's still the chief security officer. He's still the man in charge of the state and all of that. It's all rhetorics. You are the chief security officer of the state. You swore to an oath, as is being echoed by him. You ordered some loads of tons of sand, the carpenters and the rest, to climb onto the roof, to remove the roof. And you are lying before the king. If it were to be in those days, sir, some demon from the bottomless pit of hell will slap him right there while he's saying it, because he himself knows that what he's saying is not true. So I want us to get it clear. The one that says, "Oh, it's my elder brother, I will cross over to go and meet him," knows that inside of him is like he's going to hug transformer inside of him. But yet he's deceiving the king, deceiving the people in the palace, deceiving the audience watching on television. It was not so. You dare not do that in in the ages past when kings were kings. Because you will have made up your mind whether you want to be swallowed by the ground or you want to be alive. See that you say the truth. Look, there is this video. I could send it to you after now. I think it's in Cotonou. That thing happened.
Okay.
A woman, I think he has issue with the husband, probably poisoned the husband, and they brought them in the open, in the market square. The guy just put a broom around the neck of the woman, the other people.
Yes.
The broom will give way. He put the two broom across the neck. The thing will give. As soon as the culprit sat on that stool and they put a chicken under it. I'm not promoting those things anyway, but I'm just trying to compare the time past and now. As soon as the guy put the broom together, the two brooms came together like magnets. The guy tried to pull the two brooms. They were inseparable. That is the kind of power then. And the one we have now, where people will be sent to jail and they will soon come back by hook and whatever means to come back to the system to now begin to promise us that they will take our economy to the 21st century economy. A man who has 7.6 billion case on his neck, who has spent some days in jail. That is the kind. So when we are looking at where we are coming from and where we are,
okay,
we have a long way to go.
All right. Let's get the take of Barrister Kule Abimbola now on this particular matter. Whose doorstep? Because the leaders have agreed to something. I mean, the party leaders now or the party candidates say this is our position, but we see their supporters doing something else.
Thank you.
And we've seen things like this happen time and time again.
You see the way our political parties are structured. Let's begin from the political parties. Let's begin on whether or not there are internal democracies in our political parties. Let's ask ourselves the questions whether those who emerge from this process of selection or election of candidates via primaries, whether it is not influenced by money. An average political party, the major political parties at least, whether APC or PDP, you know how much it costs to get nominated on the platform just to apply that you want to expression of interest forms in any of these political parties. You know how many millions it costs. So it's like some of these contenders see themselves as investors. When you buy a ticket at humongous amount of money, you spend billions of naira campaigning all over the state or all over the country. As the case might be.
We will get back to you. Let's speak with another of our correspondents who is in Edo State now to fill us in on what is happening. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Emmanuel.
Yeah, good morning.
Emmanuel, good morning. How are you? Good morning.
I'm fine.
How is Benin City this morning?
I just very well. It's calm, and I'm already at my center where I'm voting now.
Where exactly are you?
Okay, I'm in Irede local government in Edo State.
Okay.
And we're trying to be precise right now.
All right. What is happening there?
So far so good. The crowd here is encouraging. I know that, and everywhere is in order, and the people are trying to cast their vote for their preferred candidates here.
Okay.
But in some units, we are trying to there are some challenges between the agents and the politicians I'm seeing right now.
Okay.
What they are trying to argue right now, that when people vote, they should not show them their voting paper, because it's like some of them are trying to see how they can pay them. And not that after voting, they don't accept candidates and collect money. But that's what we're trying to avoid. That's what we're hearing from one call at the background now.
Say that again. You say that again. I'd like to hear that again.
Some agents, rather from the political party, that are trying to tell the voters after voting, they should show them the ballot paper which they are voting in order for them to know who they are voting. At the end of the day, they pay them money, and the other party are trying to put against it and the security agents and other like. If anybody tries that, they are going to clear the ballot, the paper,
Okay.
another. So that's what the total the argument on ground now.
Okay. So outside that, we heard from Orion local government this morning that in some areas there was a bit of violence, although it's been put under control. Do we have any such thing in Oredo where you are? Have you had any violence?
No, I can only speak for my word now. So far, so good. I think everybody is in order here now.
Okay.
Aside the one report I just gave on now. Precisely on my unit right now. So as far as my word is concerned, there is orderliness for now. But we say continue to the end of the voting.
Okay. How did it turn out like?
So far, so good. I wouldn't want to say is encouraging compared to the kind of crowd or people who normally come out to vote in this particular ward. It used to be more than what I know of, but for now, I just hope some people will still come, which I'm thinking for people entering the compound now. So hopefully before at the end of the day, we see more crowd coming in to cast their vote.
Would you like to explain to us the process of voting? Because we understand that INEC has come up with another initiative, the Z-Pad initiative. How is the process of voting like?
I think it's not far from what the I know of. Of course, we have the social distance of the team. And of course, I think so far from everybody I'm seeing here, everybody is on their nose mask and shoes here and all that. So everybody is queued up to cast their vote here for now. So the security personnel, of course, they are all strategic things, which of the units here. That I'm seeing right now.
Let me go back to the issue of vote buying. Did you by chance see anyone who got money for voting, or anyone who paid money? Did you see?
Of course, we wouldn't want to do that close to the polling. I think they are dividing another strategy, just like we are trying to against everybody showing the paper, because that's where the agents will be convinced that, hey, you voted for them. And what they usually do, they just take you away a little bit far from the unit, choose whatever they are giving to you, and all that. But saying that aspect, no.
Okay.
It hasn't. But at least we on the queue, we are trying to simplify so far so good that a lot of persons have made on the queue. We are trying to simplify ourselves that, hey, the fact that we do away with this money or whatever they are giving to us.
Okay. You, the people, are sensitizing yourselves.
Yes, sure, with the queue, yeah. We're trying to simplify ourselves.
Why did you choose to do that?
I choose to do that because we are seeing a lot of things on ground, and in high time we do the right thing, because when the person rejects the money, that's when the right thing will be done. Because you can imagine you coming to the polling unit and you are convinced this is the candidate you want to vote for. Then coming to the polling unit at the end of the day, somebody starts convincing you vote for this, or because they want to give you one chicken change that's for finding out that in the next 4 years, if you don't go anywhere as far as you are concerned in your life. So you try to tell people, hey, the right time you reject this cover money they are giving to you, because if you not go down well with it, at the end of the day, we are all going to suffer for it. But we try to reject them and their money, and we say, vote for your conscience, you will change what to vote for.
Okay, thank you.
Things will go on right.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I sincerely appreciate this update, and I still expect more updates from you as soon as there is a fresh development. Please, you know how to reach.
I will.
I'll
be here to.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, I know that this would Katie would really like this kind of news, because you have been at the forefront of Nigerians taking responsibility for themselves. I know you will like this.
Oh, well, for me, two things.
Okay.
When the other was speaking, he mentioned prayer. And I keep asking myself, what is prayer? If definitely we know the Oba Beni and their attitude and everything, we know the culture. Even as at the 90s, I still know many people who had snakes that they were worshiping in their homes. Even in their cars, you enter their car, you see snake, very fat ones like this. Unfortunately, because of some issues, we don't have play boys, we have women selling their bodies and stuff like that. But I think that Yorubas will say, Siwaju Bashelo. Why would an Oba lose his power? Do you get what I'm trying to say? A power, that's why I said there are no powerless people. I am not, I will never refer to those people who could maintain order as demons from hell. I think we should stop deceiving ourselves. There's something about this God that we have now adopted that we do not understand as a people. Okay, because if you go to Israel, when they mention Yahweh, they don't even like calling Jehovah with their mouth because they know who he is, what he does, and how he operates. But the Yorubas, the Hausas, the Nigerians, the Igbos, the Bini, okay, they do not understand that God. The same thing with Allah. I don't think we understand him too well. Okay, anything that is not translating into the future that we hope for is something we do not know how to operate. So if the kings are listening, they should use what they understand to fight the battle and develop the people. Because the problem now is the state has become so strong that even the governors are sacking kings. I think that it is a shame that a king would lose his power to accede to the desire of a none. Oh, I don't want to call them rascals now. So I am saying, as a person, you cannot use religion that will translate into lies, opportunities to loot, opportunities to misrule, and gag me if I have any other means of protecting myself. Let that be that as a signature. But when it comes to the people, and I keep saying it, being a pessimist and optimist is not the state of my mind. I choose to maintain a free mind and walk in freedom all the time. So I still say it is a choice. If you're buyable, okay, when they say people have prices, I remember somebody once asked me, what's your price? I laughed. It's the price of the blood. Yes, the person that I gave my life to died in my place, okay? So I know my value, okay? So now if people can accept 100 naira, nobody can save them. If they would accept 1,000 naira, nobody can save them. So I keep saying that, there's this bit of it, but I blame the elites. What do I mean by that? It is our duty to explain the politics, the expectations, because our people think they don't deserve anything. They think you're doing them a favor when you give them money. There is nothing that says you shouldn't, that we had a situation even on your state sometimes past. A governor that was sitting wanted to be re-elected and he was busy distributing television in the University of Ibadan. The people didn't vote for him. Do you get what I mean? Because they go, okay, waste your money. And that is why I think these boys on the field are trying to say, show us the paper so that we have an outcome. But I also think within the Benin politics, the two men are Benin men. Okay? That's already tells you there's some people. So there's a lot of things going on, even on the ground. But I am saying that as it is today, just like he had said, military government is horrible. Democracy, whatever it's from, is the expression of the will of the people. Okay. If their will is to be sold for bread, so be it.
All right, let's take Barrister Kunle Abimbola's views on this issue of vote buying or no vote buying. You heard what our correspondent said.
Yes.
Is that some good news? That the people maybe for once are saying, no, we cannot take this anymore.
Yes, it is difficult to enforce such a thing. Even though it's very undesirable, it should be condemned by all men of conscience. It's the lowest level anybody can go to say he wants to sell his conscience for a pot of soup or for 1,000 or 2,000, no matter how the money may be. That's part of the issues I was trying to talk about before the call of your correspondent came in.
Okay.
Because we cannot just blame the political class, the political gladiators alone. We have to blame our people too. We have to tell that you have mortgaged your conscience and you cannot demand a performance from such a leader for the next 4 years. And of course, the leader will say, well, when they are talking, what are they saying? I paid for this position I am in. So it's a psychological issue too for some of these leaders. Once they buy their way to power, that's why they want to oppress the people. They are no longer serving us. we are serving them.
Okay.
They now want to enslave the people because of that psychological belief that they bought
All right.
the vote. And
Let's
again, sorry, let me just add this. When we have to condemn, we have to say our people too, who are being used as thugs. We have to condemn it because you cannot see either Obaseki.
we have one of our correspondents
Okay.
online. Let's hear. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ernest.
Right on cue.
Yeah, where are you calling us from as we speak?
I am calling from a rural east and southeast local government area of the state.
Okay, you are live on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Ibadan.
Thank you very much.
What is the situation report where you are?
Yeah, the situation as I speak is calm.
Okay.
No conflict, no fight, nothing untoward whatsoever. The people are composed. They've been briefed on how to take care of the electoral process, the way they have to be online, and how to comport themselves without any quarrel, and they have been leading up to that as I speak with you.
So what was the voting process like? Any innovation, any new thing that is a bit different from what we've had in the past?
Not that I know of, except that for those who are not, the disabled, the invalid practically, they have been given the opportunity to cast their ballot right before others. When, for example, if you have a blind person, we had a couple of them here. They are led right from the back to the point of voting, and they are made to vote without anything. Those who are not able to work, the same thing. Pregnant women, those with babies, the elderly, they've been, given that preference, and they have done their ballot as we speak.
Okay.
I'm not aware of any other innovation. The other problem, the little problem we have is that at some point we have conflict of numbers. You have one voter, for example, having number 03, and now use the passport against the vision and the name to sort out the differences. That's what it is.
Okay. Now, in terms of, you talked about the physically challenged being given special preference or being given preference. What about the blind? We were told that there will be something like Braille voters card. I mean, ballot paper. Do we have any such things?
Any what?
Braille for the blind. Any special voter ballot papers for the blind?
No, I have not seen any. Any of that. What we did is that the blind, for example, is allowed to appoint if there's nobody that good enough that come with the person that's able to vote properly. He will now appoint somebody by way of saying my person, call the person by himself or herself, and the person will go right up, and then the person will now say this is the party I want to vote for. The communication is between the two of them, and so that person will appropriately guide him or her by pointing the fingers at the appropriate, space.
Okay. We heard of vote buying in one of the centers where we just got a call from one of our correspondents now. How is it like where you are in Owan East, you said?
Eastern Southeast.
Okay, Eastern Southeast, okay.
Yes. There were speculations to that effect. I took my time to, look through. So far, if that happened, it may have happened outside of the polling, unit, the polling station. It has not happened. We are still looking at to see if there will be any such, occurrences.
Okay.
But right now there is none.
Okay. What about security presence? How is it like?
Yes, we have a security. Well, so far there is no problem with that. We have the VSS people, they are here. We have the police, they are here. And then we have sometimes you see a couple of soldiers in their top passing, not coming into the polling units. But by and large, the security has ample comfortment by the voters here. So we are really not having any security issue. Then we have been to one or two other voting points. The same thing, in a way, the same thing, largely very, very peaceful. You know, sometimes you have people just arguing. It doesn't go beyond that.
Okay.
They are totally resolved.
So far, so good. Would you say you are satisfied with the state of things? I mean, compared with the kind of reports we've been hearing from Edo State.
Oh yes, when we talk about the real point of the flash point are not, you know, within the outskirts. You can talk about that in areas like Benin City. Probably I would see that I've not had any such report. Although we indicate that things like that might be highly contestable points. And you know, emotions are high, and they could, you know, lead to tensions and the rest of them. But within the areas that are spoken of, I've not seen any report. I've not heard of any report where the untoward has happened.
And violence too.
No. If there are no finishes, absolutely, there won't get to a point of violence. Where I have been, no issue of violence, no issue of.
All right, thank you very much. And as where there is an update, we are here. We are here for you. All right.
Then.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, gentlemen and lady, you heard that. Now he is reporting peace from where he is. I think we've got from two places now. We've heard the issue of peace, apart from the first local government where we got a report of skirmishes, which, according to our correspondent, has been contained. Now let's talk about security deployment in Edo State. We understand that 31,000 police personnel were deployed to Edo State. Some people think that this is too much. They try to compare the deployment to Southern Kaduna and some other hotspots that we have in the country. And people think that this is just too much, apart from the military and the DSS, which you just mentioned. And we know that personnel of the civil defense. Civil defense will also be on ground, and other paramilitary forces. We have 31 police personnel. Is that a bit of too much? Let me start with Mr. Adebi, Victor Adebi.
Oh, well, Edo State, as we speak today, is like a theater of war, as if there's war going on there. When you that is the presentation we have. When you deploy 31,000 police to a population of I think about less than 5 million. And you're not putting the number for the army, you're not putting the number other uniform officials. 31 police, 1,000.
Is that too much?
I watched quite a number, a few stations before I came in here, and I saw some of those police units, and at the collation, their dispatch point where they moving out to their various polling units. You see a whole cluster of police and other security agencies. It is an aberration. It is an anomaly. When you conducting an election and you have to deploy the forces in the neighboring state to come and why? Well, okay, now you see it is good if we have all these men on ground doing the security job. Distributors, when they apprehend all these vote buyers and vote manipulators, what becomes of them after the election? That is the big question. What became those that were apprehended in Kogi State when that woman was roasted alive? The PDP woman that was roasted in her apartment in Kogi. How about the cases that occurred in Bayelsa, Rivers, several other places? So if that's the case, none of them are in jail today. The point I'm making is this: none of these people look. They put all this charade called police force, army, all of them. They showcase them, but at the end of the day, when they apprehend these political thugs, political agents, are they sent to jail? I want to ask you, sir, how many of the politicians that are sending these boys on errand are in jail? Well, we will talk about that, especially the move by the international community, the United States and the United Kingdom precisely. We will get there. We will talk about that. But first, let me hear from Barrister Kunle Abimbola in respect of the
deployment of forces. Now, Mr. Victor Adebi just talked about the kind of violence perpetrated in our elections. If that is the case, is it not right that we have this volume of security personnel deployed for our elections?
You cannot really fault INEC or the federal government for deploying such number of policemen, soldiers, civil defense operatives for our elections, because the ruling class will just not behave. It's not in the character of our political class to be orderly and to use and to allow people to vote without being cajoled, without votes being bought, without violence being unleashed on the people. So actually, I don't see, I can't imagine so many other countries going through the same route we are going, because the way we contest elections is just not right. It's not right for the police to be so many, but when you know the damage control, if I can use that word, that they do in elections, we will not fault the government, because that's always been like this. Look at since 1966, Operation Wete, that there was an election in the southwest, and people were just burning people and wetting them with petrol and burning them. The political class since then has never matured. Rather, is getting from bad to worse every day. So, and the government has a duty to maintain law and order, to make sure that we don't lose avoidable lives in the course of conducting
let me ask Comrade Katie now, in respect of what our two other respondents have said, when are we going to get to a time when we will not need this kind of security mobilization for our elections?
When we use technology. But that is not the real problem I have now.
Okay.
Mr. President is sending a signal that election is more important than general security in Nigeria. I would have loved to see this show of force deployed in the northeastern part of Nigeria. I would have loved to see it, given the priority, to quell banditry and to quell every form of Boko Haram terrorism in Nigeria. I'm disappointed. You see, because I want our people to become sensitive to the fact that when it comes to lives of Nigerians, we don't say anything. But when it comes to wrestling for power, we see every might deployed. And yes, our people should learn to, there's a sad thing going on. If you notice now, the two major contenders, like people have declared them, have switched parties. Because none of the parties are based on ideologies. If you listen, nobody has told the people what they are going to do for the people.
But they've been going around saying it.
No, they're just saying,
how else do you want them to say it?
They are just saying, let me sit there. Let it be my turn. That's the song, okay? We all understand it. It's about, do you know me? If you know me, I can lead you to somebody. Go and ask in the history whoever benefited from those seats. So my take is this. What is not normal is not normal. It is not normal to deploy force against the people because it will intimidate some people.
But it's the same people that actually involved in this violence that we are talking about.
See,
in a way,
the violence is because of the juicy seat. And of course, the police also think, this is the unspoken part of it. The police deployed are going to have some very juicy packages and, outside their normal salary now, because they've been deployed. So we're indirectly encouraging, these skirmishes as, all over the place. Because once, we're going to make some money too. We're going to get some part of the largesse. So what we are doing is that we're rewarding violence. We're rewarding...
By deploying security personnel?
No, by making sure people benefit extraordinarily by these deployments. In a normal state, the state should be functional. That is my take. Every institution should function. If you're a criminal court for example, the deputy speaker now that has misbehaved today now should have been apprehended by now, and we should be seeing that maybe his name broadcasted live and all that, so that we will know that okay, this man has been apprehended and justice seen. So this display for just one day is nothing. We should have an institution that is working.
Okay, let's talk about the other issue I talked about, which is the sanctions by the United States and the UK, the United Kingdom now, on electoral offenders in Nigeria. We know what the United States has done. It said it has sanctioned, restricted the visas of some Nigerians who were fingered to have been involved in electoral malpractices and all those kind of things. And even though their names were not mentioned, some of them are already coming out to react. Some are saying it's not justifiable, it's not this, it's not that. I don't want to start mentioning names now. But before we get to this, we still have one of our correspondents who will give us the situation report from where she is. Hello, Courage. Good morning to you. Hello, Courage. Hello, Courage. Hello. Okay. Now, let's look at it from that perspective. What does it say about our electoral system in the country? What does it say about our electoral system in the country? If international communities already have their eyes in Nigeria to the extent of saying that if you involve in this and that, you are going to be sanctioned. In fact, we've seen the sanction happen already. But that of Edo State, two things, apart from restricting your visa, they are also saying that if you have property in that country, the United Kingdom to be precise, your property will be confiscated as a result of your involvement in electoral malpractice in your country. Let me start with Comrade Katie. What does it mean? But then let's hear. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, who are you and where are you calling us from? We are live on Pensioners FM. We like a listener to know who you are.
Okay. My name is Stanley Peters. I'm calling from Oredo.
Okay. You are one of the voters.
Yes.
What is happening? Where exactly are you, and what is happening in your polling unit?
Right about now, from what is on ground, one of the party they are doing vote buying at the moment. Personally,
I'd like to know exactly where you are, your polling unit, your location.
I am Ward 10, Oredo, Unit 25, to be precise.
All right.
Primary school.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Yeah. The election is going on well, but the truth is that the security personnel are nothing to write about there.
How do you mean?
Yes. There are vote buying there from a particular party, and they are closing their eyes to it. I actually walked up to security personnel to inform me on the issue of ground. He was saying it. That's the truth. He was saying it. But he has refused to see it. It calls for a great alarm, and we must ensure that the world knows about it. A particular party is buying votes for as huge as 5,000. If you vote for them, you show them your ballot paper, and they will tell you to meet a particular person, and they give you 5,000. It's as simple as that.
Are people selling their votes from what you have seen?
Yes. In that particular unit right about now, people are doing that.
So they are collecting the money.
They are collecting the money, but some persons are resolute on voting who they want to vote.
Okay. Outside vote buying, any other thing you would like to share with us?
For now, I think the thing is going freely in my own unit. I don't know about other units.
Okay.
It's going on aside this vote buying of the thing I just talked about. People are really there to vote for their conscience when they are being canvassed with the low mentality of Nigerians and the poverty rate at which most of us have, really poverty mindsets. They are very quick to sway into going against their their real conscience.
Okay. What about the turnout for the election? How is it
Yeah,
like?
the turnout is massive, very, very massive compared to its way in the previous elections.
Okay.
People really turned out this time around. In my feeling,
Have you recorded any incidents of violence or skirmishes?
at the moment, there's nothing like that. In fact, my unit has always been peaceful. I don't know about others. At the moment, we've not had anything of violence. We are one family. Everybody know you, you know me, I know your family, you know my family. So
that should be inside Benin City, right?
Yes, it's inside Benin City. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the issue of social distancing? You know, we were in the COVID-19 period. Are people really observing it?
It's not been observed. The only way it's been observed here is the way of face mask. Without face mask, you'll not be allowed to vote. But the way of social distancing, keeping distances, it's not being observed here.
Okay.
The line is still very tight. Some people, bumper to bumper.
All right. Thank you very much, Stanley. If there's any development, you know how to reach me.
No problem. I have the contact.
Thank you so much. All right, you just heard from another of our correspondents, who in fact is a voter himself. He just gave us situation reports still on the issue of vote buying. So it varies. The bottom line is that it varies from center to center. But he also said something very significant, that some Nigerians are resolute about voting for their conscience. That should be a plus, at least from all that we have talked about. But let's go back to the issue of the international community trying to step in to stem the tide of electoral malpractices in Nigeria. Let me start with Comrade Katie. But before then, let me know my esteemed listener. Let me let my esteemed listener know that the program is not our usual voice of liberation, but a special Edo 2020 governorship election coverage. And I, Bimbola, Mr. Adebi, Victor Adebi, and Mrs. Uluwakemi Ademola Aremu, Comrade Katie. Together, we have been looking at issues arising from the Edo State governorship election, which is going on as we speak. Also, we have been getting reports from some of our correspondents in different parts of Edo State who are giving us updates on what is happening in that state. Comrade Katie, you have the floor. Let me also let my listener know that we will not just forget you on a day like this. I'm sure that you want to contribute on the program as the program progresses. So let's throw the lines open so that they can call in 0908 111 1067, 0908 111 1067, or 0808 010 1067, 0808 010 1067. Watch us on Pensioners FM live. I mean, our Facebook handle, Pensioners FM. Just like it. You will see everything that is going on in the studio this morning. You can make your contribution as the program progresses. Comrade Katie, you have the floor.
Yes.
Or you have the microphone.
Thank you. The international community is interested in Nigeria for many reasons. And when you have failed to organize yourself and you don't have internal control, the external control is important. I'm telling you, that declaration by USA and UK is very, very significant. And I bet you all the looting and stealing is aided and abetted by those states. So now that they have threatened them, you can imagine a whole first lady traveling out pretending to be sick just to go and shop for her daughter's wedding. I mean, can you imagine that? And we've been talking about Exodus. Okay,
I don't know which first lady that is anyway. Well, go on.
I know. You see, there's a problem with political correctness. That was why somebody that was on ground and saw the party that was buying votes refused to mention the party. Meaning there's no evidence in this case. So it is very important that, it's a class transition process where the leaders of that state like to just, go out on tourism, visit places. I mean, they just can't display that wealth too well within the Nigerian state, so they must travel out. So those states, as UK and USA, already know that they've gone for those places. Yes, we thank them. It's important. And if you notice again, all the looted funds of Abacha are coming in from those states. So they know what is happening. So we say thank you. But then the federal government should not deny the fact that this threat is very real.
Let me
However,
ask, okay.
I want to add something.
Okay.
When you define a failed state, is a state that has lost its internal sovereignty to other states' control. So now, when you know that Nigeria has a very terrible rate of fallibility, then you now know why these states are mentioning this. If they steal again, and of course the diasporans are also behind it. The Nigerians outside this show, they are tired of what is happening in Nigeria. They send a lot of money to Nigeria. And many Benin people are outside Nigeria. So that is it. They have a right to say what they are saying, and we thank them. I really, really thank them. They should please keep it up. Though they are not our friend, but at least they've done well this time around.
Let me ask Mr. Adebi, Victor Adebi, will this move by the United States and the UK in any way curb, to some extent, these electoral issues that we see in the country? Will it have any effect?
Yeah, it will in a way, but it may not be very significant because we all are aware of this Desiani case. He wasn't gunning for the United States citizenship. Neither was he trying to settle for UK citizenship. Rather, she settled for a small island somewhere around the corner, which is less than Ibadan population. So there are a lot of places they can still go with this loot, with this and get away. There are a lot of places they can go with all this. Their blue murder kind of, because when you rape your nation in broad daylight, looting it is blue murder. So not until you take a knife and stab somebody to death or you shoot somebody, someone who decides to cut away money for general hospital. Who decide to cut a pharmacist that chose to take away the money for drugs for a particular department is as good as a murderer. So when you look at them and you look at what the United States, US, they're beginning to lobby Dubai and some other places to buy into it, is a clear reflection. There can't be a better way to tell the Buhari administration that they have a failed state in their hands. That they have a steel bat for this the administration. So if Lai Mohammed want to arrest anybody for telling them, rubbing it in their face that they have failed, then they should go and arrest them in the US and arrest those people who are pushing for, who are painting their failed state to their face. And also our legal system, sir, they must wake up. One of your correspondents was asking me a few days ago that how will I rate our legal process between 60 and now? I say it's been on the descent. Instead of ascending, it's been on the descent. In fact, we have, by my own rating, we have one of the worst legal system in the world.
20%.
Terrible legal system. Buccaneers, they are after their own pocket. You will see them, they will throw it this way. They will be the one to say, no, the man is a criminal. The next minute, they will say, no, he's a saint. They have this Oshiomole spirit inside of them in our courts. It's so bad these days. They will say, nail him to the cross today. The next time, the same lawyer will turn around and say, hail him, he's the king. You see, until we begin to see this army of uniformed people taken to Edo State and to other states, they will still move them again to Edo State. Until we begin to see them, the apprehended one, being prosecuted, being put in jail, we will keep going in circle.
Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Pius.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Madam Katie, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, my name is William. You see, Mr. Pius, as a child growing up, hearing elections and their promises, there are a few things that still rings true today. I will give you light. I will build road. I will give you water. I will give you security. Those things, when I was a child growing up, they are still the same thing as still being campaigned on today. We are yet to see the light, the water, or the road. That is the agenda, and they keep repeating. Now, on the issue of Edo State, the major flashpoint that we must look out for in Edo State is this: Ovia Southwest, Ovia Northwest, Igwebe, Ego, Unwode, the local government, Oriomo, and Oredo. That is where the flashpoints are. So, if the INEC truly understand what they are doing, I will hope that they put enough things in place to make sure that any violence there is curtailed.
All right.
So that is where the election is going to be won or lost.
Thank you.
As for America and their so-called ban, for me it is just piecemeal. And also, these guys now they change direction. They are going to Dubai and the rest now, so they are leaving America behind. So this so-called ban will not affect them much, but they should do more.
But it's making a statement.
They should make it, but then they are not serious really. It's just the same circle.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you. Yes, the issue of the UK and the United States stepping in with the visa ban and other measures.
Well, I believe that is a step in the right direction, because most of these elections that are organized in Nigeria and other African countries, some of these international funds are spent by the United States, United Kingdom, even the European Union, and so many other international agencies and organizations, institutions. They give us money to organize credible elections. So we cannot say they cannot have a voice in as much as they support us. And more importantly, they are interested in the prosperity and well-being of the citizens of Nigeria.
Okay. Okay, go on.
Then the issue of I want to react to the issue of the legal system that my
yes.
I wouldn't say that the legal system is to blame. It's just like when you talk about Shakespeare in one of his novels, that the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. We should blame each and every one of us. Recently, INEC came up with a report that in the elections that was held in either Akwa Ibom or Bayelsa, that some lecturers were involved, who were involved in electoral fraud, and they will soon be arraigned in court. Some of these lecturers are not lawyers, they are not judges, but they are part of the system. Is when INEC has used several professionals in the past to conduct elections. Presently, they are using university lecturers, and some of them are still found wanting, either in one way or the other. So the electoral system needs to be upgraded, just like every other sector in the system. I believe that there is much work to be done in our legal system, but it's not to be blamed solely for some of these infractions and some of these problems we have.
Well,
the Waste Commission, the Waste Panel, if you remember vividly, the federal government, I wouldn't remember, I think it was during the period of President Yaradua, who was magnanimous enough and was candid enough that the process that brought him to power was indeed flawed. And he came up with the Waste Panel of Inquiry. Okay. Successive administrations have not implemented the report of the recommendations of the Waste Panel. So I wouldn't agree with some of my co-discussants that is the problem of this administration alone. This problem has been ongoing for years. Successive administrations have paid lip service to some of these institutional challenges, and some of these challenges we have, until they are addressed holistically, we will remain where we are.
All right. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pius. Good morning, Barrister Abimbola. Yes, thank you. I know Barrister Abimbola. Good morning.
Good morning. William, hold on. I will get to you. Go on.
Thank you. And so I want to thank them for supporting the sanction imposed on letter offenders here. And why do we have violence on letter offenses? Because offenders have not been punished. Recall Justice Lawa of the Waste Electoral Reform Committee recommended the establishment of electoral offenders tribunal, among others. Regrettably, senior recommendations from that committee were rejected by the then presidency and the National Assembly. And you know, you're about to say little about this to see a chamber, because we are afraid to do the correct thing. So the international community has to come in. The people who are involved in violence and mental offenses are brought to justice, it will serve as this kind of to others.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. John Joko. We have William from Ego in Edo State. Hello, William. Good morning to you.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Where exactly are you as we speak?
All right. In Edo State, Benin City, in Ego, local government area, around Kuselu region, Ward 7.
Okay. What is happening where you are? You are live on Pensioners 106.7 FM.
Oh, thank you so very much. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm with you. Go on.
All right. I said it's going very well over here. Everything is intact. People are voting, and I would say at least a large number is here.
Okay. We heard of vote buying in some polling units. Do you experience such where you are?
Vote buying, I have not experienced any for now. I can't attest to that.
Is there anything special you would like us to know? Anything special going on where you are? That you think?
Yes. Right now at the center where I am, there are no police officers. I can't see any inside, so I don't know how they will be able to curb any excesses when it arises. We don't pray for any. We believe and we hope that they should be on their way now, and they should be here. It's a necessity. I think so, because that's what we were told. Every officer from the armed forces ought to be sent to every polling unit, every polling center. So now we are not seeing any. So though everything is swift, everything is cool and calm over here, we have not gotten any calls for alarm.
Which ward are you particularly and your polling unit? We would like to get that information.
Ward 7 in Igbo, Ward 7.
Okay. Polling unit what?
Polling unit 13. Polling unit 13.
Okay. So far, let's look at the issue of the guidelines for the COVID-19. Are they being followed where you are?
Okay, yes, I think a huge number here. Those who are voting now with their face masks, but social distancing or physical distancing rather, I would say I don't think that's been kept. So we are, I don't know, Nigerians, and everyone wants to meet everyone. I can see people exchanging pleasantries and all that, but all in all, the face mask and all that, I think that would do.
How passionate are the people about voting in this election from your reading of the situation?
Very, very passionate. People are keeping, a lot of persons have voted and they have gone. A lot of persons are still coming in. All right. So the thing is that it's going very well.
We heard that INEC was going to deploy a certain technology called the Z-Pad, with which it will use to upload. We heard that INEC was deploying a certain technology called the Z-Pad. Are you aware of any such?
INEC was supposed to deploy what?
The Z-Pad. Z-Pad.
Why is this line breaking? The line is breaking. Can you come again, please?
I said INEC had said it was deploying the Z-Pad, with which it will use to upload results as they come for real-time viewing by the public. Is there any such thing going on there?
No, I haven't seen any. I think I've gone around to check all of the centers already. I have not seen any. Okay. But anyway, I haven't cast my vote already. I've not done that. So when I do, I'll get to know about that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, William, for this update. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome.
If there's any issue, please, you can still call us between now and 12 p.m.
All right, I'll get back to you on that.
Thank you very much. All right, we've heard another of our correspondents there who is giving us feedback on what is happening. According to him, the election is quite calm, peaceful, and going on smoothly. So, so far so good. What do we say? We've had violence in just one out of about 5 different centers from where we've got reports this morning. Comrade Katie, is that some good news?
Well, it is good news. The people are choosing. Okay, the vote buying issue, the people are choosing. So at the end of today, for me, I know that those 2 candidates, the dominant ones, it will be a very close shave because they are from the same area and stuff like that. So whatever it is, So long the violence is not so in the physical, there's negative piece and there's positive piece. So long the violence is not too obvious as to frighten people from going out, it's okay. Let the Benin people choose.
Let's talk about this factor, and that's the gender factor in the Edo election. Out of 14 candidates, we have one woman. And then out of the 14 deputy, running mates now, we have 2 females. Yeah. What does that say about gender and politics in Nigeria?
There's something about women. Okay, we live in a patriarchal society, and there's something about women that is in doubt because too many women don't have access to wealth. Also, I have to state the fact that the times of the meeting, the dynamics of our society does not permit many women to participate. Wifeism is also another problem. So most of the people that you see coming in to participate in politics for now will be people that are related to people, some nepotism, some fielding, and the political terrain is something that is not too good for some women. But that notwithstanding, over time, you see more women come out to participate.
Over time,
definitely.
Let me ask the men, because in a way they seem to be the ones here who perhaps are breathing down the neck of women. I have Barrister Kulia Bimbola. Why do we have a situation where it doesn't seem as if, not that women are not interested in politics, but like Comrade Katie said, there are certain factors that actually militate against women, succeeding in politics. How should you have 14 candidates and have just one woman coming out?
Well, the reasons are multifaceted. Just like Comrade Katie has rightly said, some of these issues are not issues that women can cope with. Talk about issues relating to violence, issues relating to vote buying, issues relating to financial might to stand for elections in Nigeria. Some of these issues are preventing women from getting to having access to power. And it's so bad because the country came up some time ago with 30% affirmative action for women to encourage women. And even though the policies of so many of these political parties reduce the amount of money women have to spend to get nominated.
Yes.
Even in spite of that, it's just not the nomination fees that scares women. Talk about the humongous amount people have to spend, contenders have to spend, campaigning, for example, from over the length and breadth of Edo State, riverine areas. So people who don't have access to power, or people who don't have access to godfathers, if we may use that word. Because we have to face the reality. It's either you have a war chest, as in having billions of naira, or you have a godfather somewhere who can make things.
So it's only men that must have money.
It's not only men. Women have money, but women are more prudent with their money.
They spend with their head.
Yes. But I know
when they are not sure, they don't put in money.
By virtue of my work, I know of so many politicians who sell their houses at giveaway prices when election time comes. They believe that if they succeed, they will repeat. And some of these houses they sell to, when you question the legitimacy of how they came about it, is suspect.
Let me ask Mr. Debi why they are not giving women money. Why are you men not giving women money to go into to play politics the way it should be?
Unfortunately, you are asking the wrong person.
Okay?
Wrong in the sense that Tinubu left 2006, isn't it?
Yes.
2006. Okay, eventually left 2007. 2007. I will say I funded somebody I'll call my twin sister. So when you say somebody is your twin, so you can begin to define that. 90% I funded Badagry Ward 2 in Lagos State to go to House of Assembly, Lagos State. Who nominated her? The Awe of Badagry. From the Blues, let's give her a call. we've had enough men. We want to try women. Will you be interested? Happens to be an uncle. As soon as he said it to me, I said, you know what? What is this? Where is this coming from? One thing led to the other. I couldn't dodge because I know the thing was coming on my shoulders.
Okay.
You know, when you fund such thing 90%, you know what it means. It affected my finances for those periods. Why? I backed out because I just believe it's a real opportunity that she will never forgive me if I don't put my weight behind her. Because she will say, oh, because she's a woman. I put all the weight. We threw all the thing, we did all the primaries, did everything. At the end of the day, look at what happened in Abuja during Jubril, Sarah Jubril. How many people voted for him at the primaries? You remember that episode?
One.
Dondo, only her.
Did your candidate eventually win?
No, Massa. Because women are the worst enemy of women. I can say that empirically, 24/7. If a woman ever make it to the top in any given organization, there are some things I say it because I want people to prove me wrong. I have about 5 of such theories, and I came up with them because of personal experience, not because I read them in books.
Okay.
If you see a woman who happens to rise to the top in any given organization, it is some men who saw their mother in her, who saw their sister in her, who saw their daughter in her, who saw their wife in her, who saw all those things and said, look, this woman must move to the next level. In most cases, in 95% cases, if you see somebody say this file will not move from my table, it is another woman that is stampeding that file and not allowing it.
Katie, do you agree? Do you agree with him?
See, you know, for a fact,
personal experiences.
You know, the men have been tutored and they've been exposed to power play. And always, I say that women should not be asking for an opportunity to go there. They should compete for that opportunity. And it's based on your resources, whether mental resources, emotional resources, and stuff like that. Okay. So, for a fact, if anybody, male or female, is going to occupy a position of power, because that power is power over some people, you have to be supported by every species of humanity, male and female, both gender. We have
politics is a game of number.
No, it is a game of number.
But when your constituency is not standing by you, what happens?
No, you are to go to that constituency and win the confidence of the people. But you know, the major deterrent for women, you know, long ago, and I mean long ago, I've always been into, I'm a comrade. So I'm always there working for my people, helping my people and stuff like that. See, a major factor is the fact that when you are gunning for an office, too many men, these godfathers, etc., they are not just demanding for physical things. They want your body. Women will confirm that to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you see, that is the major deterrent. Harassment, sexual harassment. In fact, when you are in office, people keep wondering, how did you get there? People have asked me before when I was in office, how did you get there? I'll just laugh. I say, what are they expecting? It's people, I also notice, for somebody to nominate you, there are people that know what you stand for. And I keep saying, women of Nigeria, if you have low self-esteem, you will always run another woman down. And the men of Nigeria should please stop harassing women sexually, because that is a major deterrent. Many women that want to participate in politics, it's not that they cannot keep awake all night discussing national issues. It's the fact that somebody somewhere sooner than later would say, oh, you're a fine woman. Okay, and then think of it again. If you think of the responsibility of the woman in the home, they are so numerous.
It's all right. 0908-111-1067 0908-111-1067 0808-010-1067 0808-010-1067. Now let's talk about the Oshomole factor. I mean the godfatherism factor in the Edo election. How has this shaped issues in what is happening in Edo State today? Let me come back. Let me go to Barrister Kunle Abimbola. The godfatherism factor in our elections. From your reading of the Edo situation, how has it shaped issues? So far, so good.
It has been the...
Okay, but before then, let's get this correspondent. Hello, Fidelis.
It's low.
Please reach.
All right. Okay, go ahead. We are listening to you.
It is one of the most dominant factors of this election and even the electioneering campaign, really. Because I watched the campaign video clip of the PDP candidate, the incumbent Governor Obaseki,
Okay.
which was previously recorded, where Mr. Adams Oshiomhole was campaigning for him. They were using it for political masterstroke for these very elections. And when you look at this issue, there are two things for me, really. The Obaseki should not have beaten the finger that fed him.
That's your thinking?
That's my thinking. And I believe also that Oshiomhole himself should not have been dominant on a candidate he supported and he recommended for higher office. Because the chickens have since gone home to roost. And we can see that the interest of the people is not the most dominant narrative now. It's the interest of whether Oshiomhole has the power to continue to dictate the pace of things in Edo State, or whether he had the right to change the candidate. You understand the dynamics?
Okay.
So now, coming nearer home now, you could see that this has rubbed on even the deliverance of the governance, dividends of democracy, or in the people of Edo State. Because for a very long time now, the House of Assembly has not operated for a day because of the dynamics of power between Oshiomhole and Obaseki, and the House could not be properly inaugurated, which has robbed the people of Edo State of proper lawmaking, which is a crucial and vital organ of government.
Okay, let's get the take of Mr. Adebi on that particular matter, the godfatherism matter in Edo State.
So you see that was why,
because at the center of this all, particularly the so-called frontline candidates, at the center of it all has been the former governor Adams Oshiomhole.
That's the reason why I used the word rascals the other time.
In quote.
In quote. And why I use that word is because of what we have on our hand as engineered, designed, perpetrated, and operated, and being in operation even as we speak now by Adam Oshiomhole. None of this shenanigan going on in Edo that one could excuse him for 1 second, because he orchestrated the whole thing. And he's still the one sitting there now, because the vote going on in Edo State is not on paper, yes, between Yamu and Obaseki. But in reality, the real vote is between Oshiomhole and his godson in politics, Obaseki. Because when you look at it, what is Oshiomhole's own in this whole lineup? It shouldn't be him.
Hold on.
Being the center of the the level of carefree attitude that they all brought to bear at the expense of.
We have one of our correspondents on the line. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you very clearly.
Okay. All right. So where are you exactly, Fidelis? You are live on Pensioners 106.7 FM Ibadan. Where exactly are you?
Okay, I am in Igweben. We are two of Igweben, local government.
Okay.
Egwari Igweben.
Okay. What's happening where you are?
Okay, at the moment, voting is ongoing, and people are comporting themselves according to the guidelines made by INEC. And by the of God, everything is working smoothly at the moment. Okay. I must tell you, the people have comported themselves, and they are voting according to the laid down principles.
Okay. Is there anything special you would like us to know? Because we had reports this morning of violence in some parts of the state. Do we have any such where you are?
As at moment, as we speak now, Igwebe is very peaceful. This is what we are voting, very peaceful, very calm. People are going back their normal duty, doing their voting. No violence. There has never been a lot of violence since we came in here today. As early as 8 o'clock, voting has commenced.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, people have been responding positively.
Okay. What about security presence? How is it like?
Oh, wow. Security presence is the highest we have ever seen. Very heavy security presence. The policemen are doing their job. No harassment. Those carrying arms are far away from the voting point. And those that are designated to march the polling units are also there manage the polling units accordingly.
Okay. What about we heard that those who do not have face masks don't vote.
That's true, because it's part of the regulation for the election. So that is a very strict compliance, and those who do not have it have been advised to go and get one. If not, they won't be accredited to vote. And I must tell you, people got the awareness. Just very few persons didn't do that. But by the grace of God, they were able to get their face masks among the vendors selling around the vicinity, and that I can tell you.
As I let you go, from the feelers you are getting across the state,
yes,
what is the mood of the people? What's the situation? That we know we've been hearing of political tension in Edo State. Is it like that?
Yes, you know, in every elections and voting, there must be the parties in the election will be speaking in favor of themselves. But so far, so well, so good. From the information I've gotten so far, people are doing their own normal voting. Okay. We are expecting at the end of the day results will be announced. Irrespective of who you are supporting.
All right. Is there vote buying? Is there vote buying where you are?
Vote buying, you can't rule away that. You can't rule away that. I must tell you very sincerely. That is happening, but it is also very private and secret. But because of who I am, I can tell you, I won't like to mention any party because I don't know that would be.
You don't even have to mention that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Fidelis, for
thank you, my brother. God bless you.
We sincerely appreciate you.
All right, my brother.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day and have a successful election. All right, we don't have all the time. We just barely 2 minutes to leave the program. Now, let me just get this last call, and then I get your individual takes as we wind down. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My comrade, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
All right. I'm over on the line.
All right. Good morning, Omabude. Good to hear from you.
Yes, good morning. I want to talk about the issue of federalism and then Nigeria being a face.
Yeah, very briefly, please. You have less than a minute. Incidentally, you are a doman.
Yes, I'm a doman. That's why I'm not interested in the do politics also.
Okay.
What is happening in the do state today, I think as far as I'm concerned, with the attitude of Shomona efficient, double standard, saying something completely different from what he said 4 years ago. It's an embarrassment against his personality, considering the fact that there was a unionist who stood on the part that the Nigerian people, or let me say, on the part that there should not be injustice at any level.
All right.
Now, today, Oshone is showing a different attitude entirely. Last 4 years here, he was trying to let the
Thank you very much, Mr. Omabude. We just have to let you go because of time. I'm so sorry, gentlemen and lady. I'd like you to say one or two to Edo people as far as this election is concerned. Let me start with Barrister Kunle Abimbola. 10 seconds.
I believe that democracy being a game of numbers, the person who has the overwhelming vote will win. But going forward, we have to reform our electoral process.
All right, Mr. Victor Adebi.
Well, I feel Edo people, but under the circumstance, I wish them best of luck.
All right, Comrade Katie.
You know, Edo people. Now be say making a do well, and the election will be say just today. Now make you take your eye look and well for the next 4 years. All the best.
I'd like to say a very big thank you to my analysts in the studio this morning, Mrs. Oluwakemi Ademola Remo, Comrade Katie, Mr. Adebi Victor Adebi, and of course, Barrister Kunle Abimbola for being on the program today. I'd like to say a special thank you to the producer of this program, Babatunde Tiamiu, ably assisted by Ibiumi Ishola, and of course, my man, Babafemi Obideyi, and all those who ensure the success of this program, our team of correspondents, and everyone who has been on ground. My name is Pius Nsabe. Join us between 4 and 5 p.m. today for more updates on the Edo election. Do have yourself a lovely day and stay free.
All right, on pensioners 106.7 at Barigo Niwike Ibadan is where you just heard that special Edo 2020 election update with Pius Nsabe, and of course the guests in the studio to discuss the wins and of course the caprices with everything going down in Edo State. And of course you've heard the live report from our correspondents across field. Don't worry, by 4 to 5 p.m. again today you'd meet Pius Nsabe for another part of Edo 2020 election live coverage from pensioners 106.7 at Barigo Uniwike Ibadan. But of course, the time is exactly 12 o'clock now. It's time to meet the man with the cap, Raymond Tolulope, the sports illuminator, on another edition of the show that focuses on sports development in Nigeria and particularly trickled down to Edo State. I'm talking about sports drill, and it starts now.